Okay, my friends, we're going to try this again. I just learned some new things in Knit Companion and a way to um, put your pages together that is far easier than what I had shown you the other day when I did the video. Um, this is so much easier, and it is also uh, when it's saving, it doesn't take near as long. So I'm going to do a bit of a review of what I did the other day and show you what I found. Or actually, I have to thank Carolyn Hawkey, Hawkey, I believe that's her last name, because she contacted the developer under support and they emailed her back with these directions. So what I'm going to show you is my interpretation of the directions that she got. It really has worked so much better, and putting the pages together this way is so easier than it was doing it when you were trying to align two edges, like a horizontal and a vertical, to stick that page in there. So I'm gonna show you how to do that today. Of course, we're gonna go into Knit Companion, and okay, here we go. I don't want that. And I'm going to use a smaller chart so that, and I'm not going to put a whole lot of pages together, but I am going to review the cropping and how to do that, and this way of stacking your pages. And what I'm going to show you is how to stack them in columns as opposed to rows. So we're going to do a column, and we're going to start on the left. So let me just open up one of these that isn't here. We'll do this one. And looks like they might have updated this. Okay. I already have this one. I thought I did. Hold on a second. Here we go. Oh, I'm in PDFs. I already have it as a project. So I'm going to do this one as a new project, and I'm just going to say start project, and then I'm going to call it demo, not test. I'm going to call it demo. Okay. And I'm going to create it. Okay, now hopefully okay, I'm going to try, and very hard. I think I'm just adjust a little bit. I think everything is on in the camera this time, and I'm going to try and they did. They changed this a little bit. They must have updated the software. So we're going to be figuring this out together. So when we're going to put our pages together, of course, we want to go into setup, and across the top here you see knit, edit, and setup. So we have to set up our pages. Yes, I'm sure you always want to say yes there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is over here, the plus sign, I'm going to add a piece, and this first column you're going to do as we did before. You're going to add a chart piece. I'm actually going to start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me back up a minute and say this. Your best bet, so that you don't get confused, is to make a chart of your pages, okay? Just a little box graph so that when you add the page, you can either check them off or mark them off so that you know where they are, where you are. This one is a short, small chart, so it's pretty easy to figure out. There's four pages. So since I'm going to start on the left, at the bottom, I'm going to pick 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. Okay, and say next. And you see this is the beginning chart. We're going to put in our rows, and I believe this is going to be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Oh, I do that every time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91. 90. Okay, this is going to be 93. And we know that our first page, let's go down here, is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay? So then we're going to add the number of stitches would be 80. Okay? So we put that in. That's very important. And at the same time that we're down here, we're going to click on the grid. Okay? That's going to give us all these yellow grid lines. And we're going to move those crop lines a little bit. What I'm going to do then is make this chart super big like we did before. Find my edges, okay? So we can see this is the gray, so we don't want the gray area because that's repeated. And we're going to move this down, okay? Actually, I'm going to make it even bigger yet so that I can see it even better. And I'm going to put it in about the middle. I'm going to move this crop line in to about the middle, okay? And I'm going to make it small again, and I'm going to go down to the opposite corner. I found this through my playing around with putting charts together. I did put my Stitcher's Retreat together. I put a few that I'm working on in this, and I really had no problems with saving, so it worked out really well. So this is my end, and this is, okay, so you see the bigger you make it, how much easier it is to get it centered, okay? Maybe I want to go just a little bit that way, and maybe just a little bit more. There we go. It's in the center. So something's not right here. See, this is why you double check. Something's not right. Okay, let's see if we can find our issue. Aha, we didn't move this marker. Okay, that's why. So we're going to move this puppy out here. Okay, what did that just do? All right, we're gonna, I don't know what happened there. So we're going to clear that and start this over again. Okay, so see, when something like that happens, you just clear it, start it over. Let's go big here. Okay. So it's good some goof ups happen so that you can see what to do. All right. So you want to crop that, crop this one, to halfway. Okay, make it small. Go back down to the corner. To this corner. Make it big again. Okay, bring this one up to about halfway. Take this one out to about halfway. Okay, now that looks better. See how your yellow grid lines are on the chart's grid lines, and that's the object of what you want to happen. You want both grids to match up, because those yellow lines, those yellow markings, is what the app uses to put the grid together. Okay, so this looks good. So that's page 1. Okay, looks good. I always double check them. So we're going to start with our base sheet. So this is page 1 of that. We are going to then add a piece. Okay, so we want the piece that goes on top of that. It's going to be page 13. We're going to say next. And we're going to do the same thing. So this is going to be 95 rows by 80. So we're going to put that in, 95 by 80. Okay, we're going to bring our crops. And I usually try and position them pretty close to where they're going to be when I do this. We want to turn on the grid. Okay, you with me? Okay, make it big. Okay, I'm going to double check. Okay, I have it about halfway. Okay, there we go. Make it small again. Go down to your opposite corner. Make it huge. There it is. Bring it up. Bring it up. Bring it up. There we go. It's pretty good. And bring this one in. A little more. There we go. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay, there we are. All our lines seem to be looking pretty good. So it's just as easy as that. The most important thing is make sure that your rows and stitches, the counts, are correct, because that's what's going to allow you for these lines, these grid lines, to match up with what the software has and what your grid has. So when you're okay with that, you say align. Okay, now it will by default always insert your page to the right of whatever is there. So with this one, we're stacking them in columns. Okay, instead of going across in rows, we're going to stack them in columns. So this one we need to move up, and see how easy this is, and just move it over, enlarge it. Yeah, look at that, on the money, and save it. Okay, so what you would continue to do then is stack your columns. I'm not going to, well, let's do it. Oops, let's go back here. Okay, so we can add another piece. That would be page 1. Say next. Do the same thing. This is going to be, okay, let me count. Yeah, this is going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 98. and your stitches is going to be 80. You're going to turn your grid on. You're going to bring your crop marks down. Okay. Now this one, since it's your first page, get really big. Okay. Since it's your first page, you don't have any gray area to worry about. We're going to center that as best we can. Okay, make it smaller. Go down to the opposite corner. Make it bigger. If you go to the opposite corner, you can work two sides at the same time. So let's move this one down. Go a little bigger. Okay. And move this one in. Okay, it's looking pretty good, isn't it? Okay, double check it. Just give it a quick double check glance. You'll be able to tell pretty quickly if it's off, and this one looks fine. So again, we're going to align and see how much quicker this is. We're going to take it up, drag it over. Okay, see this one I have off by 1 square. So we're just going to move, oops. Sometimes that happens, it gets a little, there we go. So we're all aligned okay, we're gonna save. Okay, good deal. All right, so there's our first 3 pages and they're stacked on top of each other. Now, this is the part that is different. This is the part that in the email that Carolyn got back was explaining, because if you remember correctly, those of you who have tried it, when you were doing a cross in rows and you were adding, every time you saved, it took longer and longer and longer to save. So the idea behind this, doing it the way I'm going to show you now, is that it doesn't take as long to save, which makes it a little faster for you to join them. So this time, instead of adding a piece, what we're going to do is we're going to build a template. So we're going to add a chart template, okay? And now, since we're going to do the second column, and we're working from left to right, we're going to pick this one, because these through are the last row, so that's the second one. And this is where your grid comes in handy, so that you can mark off what you already have joined and what you need, and then you know which one and in which order you need to join the next ones. So we're going to say next. I forget what this count was, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I think it's 93. And your stitches are going to be 77. And we already have the grid turned on. And we're going to move these around. So your cropping is going to be just the same. The difference is going to be when you join them. Okay, or that we're now making a template. So we're going to put these 3 together and we're going to crop just as before. Okay, make it small. I'm not going to do the whole chart. I'm just going to show you how to join a template, and then from there it's going to be the same for every column that you need to make. Okay. Should have waited till I got closer to the bottom here. There we go. Put that up. Put that up. Bring this down. Move it up close. Bring this down. Make it big. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, now you see up here, it's showing it as template and it's T1. Okay, if you want to rename that, you can do that right here. You might want to say this is page 17 and the 2 numbers above, so that you know what pages you have in that template. You could certainly do that. You could rename the template. So if we do that, we could say it's page 17, and I'll add the other. Okay, you can't put a comma, you can put a space. Can you put a dash? Yes. So 17, 14, and 10, I believe they are. Okay, and we can save that. So then it's going to show it what pages we have. So this is looking pretty good. So at this point, we're going to add another page, okay? Which is going to be 14. And this is 95 by 77. Turn on the grid. Bring your crop markings close to where you need them. Make it big. Move your lines. And when you're cropping, make sure that you're not cropping that your gray shows. You know, you want to crop those repeated rows off, because you certainly don't want to stitch those twice. Okay. All right. Let's make it small. Go down to the opposite corner, and I hope I should be staying in the frame for you this time, and I apologize about that. When I was looking at my camera, I would have swore I was within the frame, and here I wasn't as within it as I thought I was. The way I had it set up, I was looking at an angle. Okay, so here we go. All right, looks like we're good. Our lines are where they should be. So when you're creating the template, it's the same as what we did the first time, only now you're making a template instead of a chart piece. So now we want to align this. Okay. Oops. All right. There we go. We want to align it. When it looks good, we save it. Now, because this is just a demo, I'm not going to put another page on this. What I'm going to do is show you how to join these two, and then from here, completing your chart is all going to be done the same way. So now that you could make all your templates and then join, or as you complete each one, you could join it. So now you want to go back to pieces. All right. And here at the end, you see a page 21, which is the pieces that you joined already. Okay. So we're going to tap on that. Okay. Now we're going to go down here and ask it to join. And we're not going to add a piece this time. We created templates. So we want to add a template. And then if you created all your templates, they're going to show here, and you're going to pick it and say next. And it's automatically going to join it. And this is why you start on the right-hand side, because you start on the left-hand side of your chart with making your columns, because the program is always going to default to joining to the right. So here, there's no fiddling. to put these chart pieces together. The program, the application will automatically join them. You can hit save, and there you go. There's your chart pieces already joined. Now, like I said, I didn't put the third one on. So you would put the third one on here and you would join it. So you would then, you're already joined, okay? So you would then go back to the plus sign, create a chart template, do the same thing. Your templates would show up here. Once you have your template made, you would go to pieces. You would pick this last page because that is your joined chart. You would say add a template. Okay, so I'm not going to make any more templates, and like I said, this is a demo. So you would hit add a template. You would pick this, say next. It automatically joins it, and you can save it. And it saves it just that quick, okay? I'm not going to get confused. I will delete this so that I don't get confused, okay? So there you have your chart. This is so much easier. And according to the email that Carolyn got, they were talking about joining a chart that's 90 pages. So this should not be an issue with your app crashing. Hopefully that will fix that. I haven't gotten a whole lot of markings on yet. Let me see, I think this piece, yeah. So this is where I am on Once Upon a Time, okay? And what I plan to do is go back, just because I'm curious to the stitch count. This area here is what I've stitched already. So I am going to go back and mark all of those in. But so far, I haven't had any problems with it crashing as I'm not highlighting, but marking off the stitches that I stitched. So time will tell once, I mean, this is a fairly good sized chart. So once I get further along, we'll see if it's going to crash like the more stitches I have marked off, because from what I can tell, this automatically saves. Now, it doesn't save to Dropbox. You have to upload it to Dropbox, but it automatically saves on your iPad. So I'm not sure at this point whether once you have maybe 10,000, 20,000 stitches marked off, if that's going to slow up the saving, or if it's going to have your application crash. Time will only tell that. You know, I'm new to this app just like you guys. I've sat and fiddled with it to, you know, figure things out, and I'm just at this point sharing with you what I know. I am not an expert, not at all. If I can't answer your question, we can refer it to Jan. She might know an answer, and if neither one of us can answer it, then the best thing to do is contact the developer and ask them about it. If you're having problems with it, contact the developer and ask them, what can I do to make this better? Because this application is a knitting application, and I believe that they have it pretty well perfected for knitting. Using it for charts of this size for cross stitch, my understanding, and I could be wrong, and Jan, please correct me if I am, but my understanding is that it's a pretty new concept to them to have a chart of this size, to have a chart that's 60, 70, 80, 90 pages long. So they may be tweaking this along with us learning this. So it behooves us to let them know any issues that we're having so that they can perfect it better for us. Jan and I both have said, wouldn't it be great if they pull out the cross-stitch component out of this piece of software and make one that is specifically for cross-stitch? Would that not be the cat's meow? So I think if we all, those of us who are using this, keep in communication with them, let them know what we like, let them know what we dislike, let them know what we're having problems with, so that they can work on whatever it is they do. I'm not a techie person, but so they can work within programming it to do the things that we like and we need it to do. So with that, my friends, that's what I have to share with you today. And hopefully that helps. Hopefully it makes it easier. The reason, let me just say this. The reason that the saving goes so much quicker is because the application thinks of each template as its own entity. So instead of, you're joining two big blocks of chart instead of joining each individual page, and that makes it save a lot faster. Okay, what I'm hoping is, since the application thinks of each template as its own entity when it's joining pages, I'm hoping, and I'm wondering if it will think of each template as a separate entity when you're marking off your stitches. And that way, your stitches will save quicker, you won't get a lag in there, and you won't crash the program because it thinks as each template as its own individual unit. I don't know that that's the case. Let me clarify that. I do not know that that's the case. I am wondering if that's the case. So we shall see. So let's work with it. Let's discover whatever the issues are or are going to be. Let's let the developers know that, so that hopefully eventually this can be an awesome program, just like Cross Stitch Saga is an awesome program. You know, and this one, Knit Companion, can be the top of the line for iPad users. So far, I'm just loving it, because I'll tell you what, anything beats having to join pages in, say, Goodreader and constantly or flip back and forth between pages, and do that every time you have a page where you have to put them together. Here, it's already done for you. Here, you've already done it. You just keep on stitching. So with that, my friends, I hope this was beneficial. If you need me to explain anything more, please let me know. Jan is also more than willing to answer your questions and help people get on board with this. And we want to work. We all want to work together to make this the best that it can be. So with that, I thank you, and I will see you next time. Have a great Sunday. It's a beautiful weekend. So see you all next time. Thanks for watching.